Hey guys.
We figured it was probably about time to have an episode about Girls.
The TV show.
But
on HBO.
specifically about how it should be okay to have female characters that are intensely dislikable.
That we also dislike. We're drinking some Irish breakfast tea.
I have a friend on Facebook who really dislikes Hannah Horvath, the character on Girls, and I feel like that's warranted. She's pretty awful. And she had done something, and I can't remember what exactly she had done, something awful, and he'd said she was a terrible person, and he got a lot of backlash for it because hating on women is generally frowned upon.
Well, and yeah, I mean, something we generally frown upon.
Exactly. And so he sort of reached out to me and said, am I being sexist? And my response to him was really, no, I didn't think so.
With the caveat that if you're asking your female friend, is this sexist, and she says no, that doesn't mean someone else might not feel that way.
And I said that too. I said, look, my personal opinion is that this is not sexism. However, it's sort of a sexism minefield where if you take one step in this direction or one step in that direction, you could be hitting sexism. Because female characters are generally hated on for no reason, lots of the time. And male characters who behave this way often get beloved undeservedly. So there's like these two competing ideas, right? There are things that a character can do that make them very dislikable and very unrelatable. And there are things that a character is that should not inherently make them dislikable.
Mm-hmm. I think Loki is pretty irredeemable because he literally committed a genocide.
Yeah, we were talking about this a little bit in the woobifying episode, where men often do terrible things and yet they have this halo effect given to them by virtue of either just their maleness or their attractiveness. But
or
it
their
doesn't
whiteness, which is connected to the two.
always have to be attractive men that get this sort of love.
No, yeah. I mean, we were pointing out, like, Walter White from Breaking Bad.
Totally beloved.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say unattractive, but like not conventionally.
Yeah, he's no Don Draper.
Yeah.
Another example of a guy who...
Exactly. Which those men aren't precisely woobied.
No. And the thing is, too,
Loved.
those guys tend to be loved by other guys. Woobies tend to be loved by girls who are like, oh my god, my precious child baby, he didn't know any better.
Right. Women who do despicable things never get that halo effect ever.
That's really true.
And I was just like very uninterested in it. And Katie had sort of the opposite opinion about that, which is that that kind of thing, nepotism, is a thing that women obviously get criticized for that men really don't, because there are plenty of men in this business who have made it because of their families.
Yeah.
It's still good to look at what you're criticizing women for and see, is this something that I'd criticize a man for? I'd say neither of us have given up on the show per se.
It's like, it's never one that I'm rushing out to watch. It's just not my personal cup of tea.
What I say is that I watch it and I don't recommend it to anyone.
Yeah.
Because it is such a very specific thing. You don't always know if the show is condemning the actions of the characters or not. I feel like in some small instances the show makes it very clear that they are condemning the behavior of the show through the presence of sort of supporting characters or like very small characters that are quote unquote normal that really throw into stark relief the behavior of the central characters for being really unlikable.
Yeah, but doing horrible, morally wrong things.
Yeah. And then sometimes you get the behavior is just so bad, I mean, they couldn't possibly be defending it.
Yeah. I think this is something interesting with shows about people who are shitty. Which is what we're talking about
It's
here.
a genre.
When you have a protagonist, we're on the journey with that person, and to a certain extent, we are supposed to be invested in what they're doing. We're supposed to enjoy that. And so I think with a lot of these male characters like Walter White, especially like Don Draper is a character that we get to live in that world with. Like, what if we got to drink at work and smoke at work and sleep around and have a beautiful wife anyway? And so I think, like, the people that kind of forgive him for all that, who give him that halo effect, are enjoying living in that space, that kind of, like, consequences-free zone. Whereas when Hannah Horvath kind of lives in that space of she's doing whatever she wants and she's having an affair with this really attractive older guy for a lost weekend or whatever it is.
Oh man, that was great.
Yeah, that, you know, those same people who enjoyed being John Draper are not able to enjoy being Hannah Horvath, either because of her gender or because of the way that she looks.
Yeah,
you know.
whatever.
I mean, and I will put it that like, if that character were played by Megan Fox, I think there would be a vastly different conversation about her.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's definitely true. And her appearance, like her gender, is something that she can't control.
Yeah, that's a being, not a doing.
Girls has served a very, very important public service in the sense of putting in the forefront that women do not have to be attractive and behave to please men.
No.
Like, in order to be on television.
Or, which is, in essence, to be human.
Yeah. Paving the way now for women on television to be more than they used to be.
Yeah.
And one of the results we sort of attribute to this new environment for women on TV is Broad City.
I don't think Broad City would have existed without Girls.
Yeah.
It's just an easier sell. It's like, they're not as bad as Girls. They're not as annoying as Girls. I know
And
that
they're
an executive
prettier.
said that. And they were like, we can sell this because this space has been made.
Yeah.
Like, have they made enough space or the space that they could make? Obviously, no. It's a cast full of 4 white women living in New York City, and they've come under huge fire for that, and rightly so.
Right. But yeah, it's all about making sure to use a scalpel with your criticism rather than a machete.
Yeah.
Love big, hate small.
Yeah. Yeah. And sharp.
We had to...
Look, we didn't want to give any of these ladies an army, and that's saying something because we've given some really problematic people armies. So, we're going to take the male protagonists from those other terrible people doing terrible things shows and fuck, marry, kill them.
Yep.
This might come as a surprise, but I don't really want herpes or chlamydia, so I'm going to take John Draper off the table in terms of the fuck category.
Yeah, I don't think he would be very good at it either.
Based on the evidence presented.
I don't think he cares very much about whether a woman is enjoying herself with him.
I'm weirdly going to vote Walter White.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Because he does seem, for all of his terribleness, he has a wife who loves him. And
Yeah, I feel like Skylar wouldn't put up with that.
she's definitely demanding her
Yeah,
orgasm.
Yeah, and I respect that. I guess I would marry Dawn, though.
He's had a lot of experience with
Yeah.
being married. And he wasn't a great husband, but he wasn't an abusive one.
No.
He was, I mean, physically
cheater,
abusive
yeah.
one.
You could get out of that relationship, though.
It would not be hard to convince him to leave you.
But I'd rather be married to him than President Underwood.
Yeah, let's,
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
I'm a kill
I
that
really
guy.
think we should kill President Underwood. He is not good for the country or
Yeah.
anyone. Plus, he's a murderer.
He is.
Do we,
he's a
I
straight-up
feel
murderer.
like we forget this fact that he murdered someone with his own hands.
Actual murderer.
Yeah.
All right.